Today, we will be talking about independent comic books. Specifically, these independent comic book companies I have in this stack right here. Damn, that's crazy. You can see my reflection through the glass. But I'm not really that big of a reader when it comes to independent comic book companies. I've only specifically read these ones right here, and I think they're fire. I think these are the companies that are gonna be big in the future. Will they be as big as Marvel? Possibly. Will they be as big as DC? Maybe. It's gonna be a long journey ahead for these specific companies because they're going up against juggernauts. It's not just DC. It's not just Marvel. It's Image Comics. It's Dark Horse. Plus, you still have manga still around with Dragon Ball, Naruto, and all of them. Pretty much, there's still like a wanting of that. But these ones, I feel like, are sick enough to be, if not just as big, then it's going to most definitely be bigger than what they already are. Now, what are these comic books? As a matter of fact, let me start off by saying I apologize to all the independent comic book companies out there, the ones I have not known about and the ones that I have known about, just haven't really got into buying their comic books yet. I will, because of these ones, I will be investing more so into independent companies, especially, everybody keeps complaining about DC's doing this, Marvel's doing this, why isn't there a project of this character? At the end of the day, guys, these companies don't owe us anything. So if they decide to run with a certain character because it's making more money, it is what it is. So, but that's a video for another day. We're talking about these independent comic books, and the first one I want to talk about is the IMPOUND universe with IMPOUND Comics. This one being IMPOUND, of course. Written, I think it was also created by Brent Trace Sands. Now, this is IMPOUND Volume 1. I do have Issue 1. I do have his other characters like Seraph and Blasted. I also have his new one called Hydro Beast and a Cautious, I believe. Yes, Cautious. Put the camera down so you can see the whole one. It's fine. I can just pull it up. But this is probably the very first independent comic book company that I got into a while back. Actually, no, it's actually the second. The first one you'll see. But it's actually the second independent comic book company that I originally got into, about, this guy who blew up off of TikTok named Brent, of course. The guy who blew... And also, I'll tag all the companies down in the description down below. I'll tag their links to their websites. You guys can go check out these characters yourselves. But I pretty much originally got into IMPOUND Comics specifically because of this character, IMPOUND. He is a maybe not former, but he is basically a martial arts fighter, a UFC MMA fighter who got powers. That's basically his origin story. Everything else you can go read yourself because I don't want to spoil too much. But I just thought it was cool. I thought the storyline was pretty much quite simple. It goes straight to the point. There's no lag anywhere that I detected. There's no slow points. There's no side stories, and you can also read this off the first read. It's no connections. He's still kind of building his universe. But when it comes to IMPOUND, I highly suggest the IMPOUND universe because they not only have this character, they have a whole bunch of other characters who I believe a lot of people will get into. I do see this being successful. Excuse me, they're already successful. I do see this being bigger in the future, especially if the IMPOUND comic book, especially if the IMPOUND brand continues to grow and they continue to stay consistent with their projects and with their line of work. So I highly suggest IMPOUND Comics. The next one I'm going to get into is the very first independent comic book company that I invested in, which is BLACKSANDS. It looks like it's written by Manuel Goody, and sorry if I butcher these names. Manuel Godoy and David Lennerman. But this is the Ultimate Edition. They do not. I don't think they've had issues because I recently looked back and they don't really have single issues. They come in volumes like this. But there's volume. Oh, excuse me, Ultimate Edition number 1 through 5, 6, I believe. But go ahead and look them up. I feel like they're kind of like the biggest out the bunch that I have here. Because they're literally doing their own thing. When I say independent, they're strictly independent. Like they're damn near about to create their own anime show type shit. That's how much deep in the game Black Sands is. Now, when it comes to Black Sands, personally for me, I like the story. I love the premises of using the ancient gods of Egypt. I love the premises of pretty much tailoring to the kids a little bit more. It still has some adult themes in it, but it's also very, very family friendly. Just the whole universe in itself. It's a very, very family friendly brand, Black Sands Entertainment. But they not only have this, they have other characters that they're doing partnerships with other creators and other writers, which I freaking love. Of course, it's Black owned, and of course, the IMPOUND is Black owned as well. If you haven't checked them out, please go check them out because they are really, really dope. They don't really have anything new that I've seen. They do have some newer characters from other writers and other creators, but when it comes to this specific story, it's really anything new. They're just working on their anime show. So kudos to Black Sands. Keep doing what y'all doing. I also do see this getting bigger. It's just, Hollywood. That's a video for another day. So really highly recommend Black Sands Entertainment. The next one is a very, very recent one. It's actually the last one that I've read before making this video, and that is Hope Breaker. It doesn't, I think the author and the writer is on the inside, but it's by Yes, it is by Heartline Comics. Also, I will leave the link down below. Hope Breaker is basically, I know you guys see that design, that badass design. That's another thing I would say about these independent companies and independent, comic books. Their designs are so fantastic. Like, you can actually see. I was surprised when I first picked this up. I was surprised of how good the cover is. Like, and even inside the comic book itself, it looks like it was done by an actual professional. Not saying these independent comic book companies don't have professionals work on their stuff, but bruh, this is hard. And of course, it's really inspired by Spawn. But when it comes to Hope Breaker, it's quite a similar but also different character. The one thing I'll say about this specific issue, it also goes straight into it. It doesn't linger away. It like goes straight to the point. Mostly like IMPOUND Comics, but it did have some quick moments here and there. I feel like it could have been a lot more. It could have been at least a little bit more pages into the story, but other than that, it's pretty dope. Hope Breaker, I will be looking forward to what else they come out. I will be looking forward to issue 2, might I add. But Hope Breaker, I would suggest this one. Why not? His powers are his origins pretty much, the whole military guy who got set up, wrong place, wrong time, and he pretty much ends up dying. But the person who betrayed him, they share a body and also share the powers. So it's kind of like the good guy is in control of the white side, and the other side is controlled by the guy who set him up. And that's all I will give you when it comes to spoilers and when it comes to the character as overall story. Hope Breaker, really, really enjoyed this. I also feel like simply because of just this first project, I have a feeling Heartline, especially since Heartline teased that they're going to be doing a collab with IMPOUND Comics. Hey man, only sky's the limit for this company. Go ahead and get Hope Breaker. Read it for yourself. Now this next one was also pretty recent before I finished this one, and that is from the RIPPAVERSE Comics, IMPOUND. Now this one has been around for quite some time, and I'm just now getting into it. I'm pretty late to the party because they pretty much sold out all their original first cover issues. But it is what it is, you know. Better late than never. This character is pretty much, it literally has its own universe. It has its own way of government, similar like in real life, but everything is pretty much different. Everything is named different. The history is different. I really love how they put that much detail and put that much thought into their universe. That is something that kind of separates the Rippaverse to the rest of these companies, is they literally create their own universe, to where Black Sands is based off of, you know, history and mythology. IMPOUND Comics is based off, you know, somebody who's actually from the Oakland and San Francisco area, or Bay Area, excuse me. And of course you have Hopebreaker, who's basically, you know, just another character in real life. But this one, it literally has its own universe, has its own government, has its own culture, all that good stuff. This, when it comes to the Rippaverse comics, they already are kind of already big. They're kind of already well known, but I do see them getting bigger in the future. So you guys got my investment. Go ahead and read ISOM for yourself. And last but not least, the one that's in this case is from Fourth Wall Productions, Ace Blade, issue number 1. Of course, some of these are signed. I also got other issues from this character that are also signed. I got some signed ones from IMPOUND Comics. This is the first copy for Hopebreaker of Heartline Comics, and ISOM is the first one. And again, you know, it costs more for the signed signature, so I couldn't really get that one. But on to Ace Blade. When it comes to the Fourth Wall Productions, this is the third, because I got Black Sands, and then I got IMPOUND, and I got this one. The third independent comic company that I got into. Damn, this shit's hella shiny. That's crazy. The third independent comic company I got into is basically, again, an MMA fighter becoming a vigilante and taking on other fighters and other villains in Las Vegas, Nevada. He's basically just challenging himself to become a better fighter. That's basically the whole shtick when it comes to the origin of Ace Blade. I did kind of had to drop it because you know, the rest of the story couldn't really catch me and draw into me. But there's other characters on the Fourth Wall Productions that I'm really looking forward to. I'm also looking forward to what else comes about Ace Blade, as well as this comic book company. There's also Ace Blade's own Instagram, so go ahead and follow that. I'm pretty sure you'll find it on his website. I will link down below. But yes, I will also recommend Ace Blade. Let me know how you guys feel about it. And that's pretty much it, guys. When it comes to these independent comic book companies that I have in my collection, I will be looking for more, and I will be also investing in more. At this point, sky's the limit when it comes to these companies, guys. They're so fire. You have ISOM from the Rippaverse comics. You have Hopebreaker from Heartline Comics. You have Black Sands Entertainment, and you have IMPOUND of IMPOUND Comics, and now you have Ace Blade from Fourth Wall Productions. That's all I have for you guys today. I'll send everybody's link down below. Go ahead and get your own copies of these characters, or if there's other characters that you feel like catch your eye, go ahead and invest in them too. You know, the worst that can happen is that, you know, they come and they go, because, you know, it really is a much more online generation, but they're killing online too. So invest what you can. Y'all take it easy.